please. Get that nigga Dak Prescott up out of here. Please. He ain't doing nothing. Get that Detroit shit. You feel me? Rep the D. You understand? Hey, Cowboys ain't doing nothing if they don't get rid of Dak. And they got to get rid of Jerry Jones.
Hey,
I agree with that one.
question for you. How many fourth downs does it take to beat the Cowboys?
Whoa!
And we're walking away quickly on that.
Well, hello, good people, and reminding you that this video is brought to you by the great people at BetUS.
The Cowboys are legit Super Bowl contenders if they beat the Lions. Would that be fact or fiction?
If they beat the Lions, then okay, but come on, let's not okay. Yeah, let's keep it real, man. Like this is a bad matchup. Like last week, we understood that it was great that they showed some grit, some toughness against the Pittsburgh Steelers, but this is a different animal, different beast, man. You know, you talk about, this could be a repeat of Green Bay coming in town. They could run the ball all over. They're going to miss DeMarcus Lawrence and Michael Parsons because this is going to be a brawl. And Dan Campbell makes it a physical contest, and they just don't have the soldiers to be able to hold it.
Not to mention they have the residual, the leftover bad feelings of the way they lost that game last year with that really bad call, the missed call with the reporting.
Oh, Skipper gonna get some good back.
The Lions are still annoyed about that game. They felt like, and it worked out for them, obviously, with the playoff seeding and whatnot. But like that's something that the coaching staff is using this week. Like that was taken away from us.
It should have actually wound up working against them last year. The way the matchups played out, it wound up working in their favor, but it didn't seem like it was going to. The Cowboys, again, have lost 3 straight home games. Here is Dak Prescott talking about trying to win that streak.
There's no way at home we can drop another home game, so want the Dallas fans to come in expecting to win, bring everything that they can, all the positive energy and vibes, and we've got to produce and go get it. We're going on a bye, so we're going to get this win and go enjoy the bye and then figure it out after that.
So how does this game set up to you? Ryan, what are you looking at? Are you eye chart?
Yeah.
No, I'm looking at Derrick Henry, Aaron Jones, and Alvin Kamara still running in Dallas right now. Like that's what I'm looking at.
You still are doing that, dude.
Those last 3 games that they've lost.
Yeah.
You know how people say they ran you out the stadium? No, teams have literally run them out of the stadium. Running backs have absolutely gone off. The physicality of these offenses has dominated the Dallas Cowboys defense. Do you know who's physical? The Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Do you know who say, hey, we're going to run David Montgomery out there and we're going to pound you. We're going to come downhill. We're going to create dynamic run plays. Oh, by the way, we got one faster in Jahmyr Gibbs and we're going to put him in the game, not just because we're spelling him, because we have a duo of running backs that are both Pro Bowl caliber. We have a coach in Dan Campbell, a coach in Ben Johnson who doesn't care, who don't care how pretty it is. They want to win football games. They want to bloody your nose. And the 4 teams that have played the Detroit Lions this year have all lost the next week. Every single one of them have gone on the next week in games they should have won and got their face beat in because they are physically worn down from the week before. And you're going to bring the Dallas Cowboys in there that don't want a fist fight against a team who feels like you stole something from them last year, who more than anything wants to continue proving that the way their coach treats them, the way their coach approaches coaching is the right way to do it. This is a bad matchup. This is Holloway Volkanovski. This is Vernon Forrest, Shane Mosley. This is one of those times you walk into the ring or you walk into the octagon and you might think you're good and then the dude punch you in the face and you change your career.
I go back to Mike Tyson and Michael Spinks.
This is going to be ugly then.
That
might be the worst matchup of all time.
Are we even going to show up?
So no one could be crazy enough to pick the Cowboys in this game.
Man, come on.
I see it totally different, and here's why. Aiden Hutchinson, write this down. Aiden Hutchinson accounts for 50% of their sacks. So Mike McCarthy is going to go in there with a TJ Watt game plan, 4 hands on him the whole time. Dak Prescott eats up man-to-man defense. Do I think Detroit's going to score? Absolutely. I think this is a high-scoring game, and I think the way Dak Prescott is playing, he's the difference in this game. And the other thing is, we did see what Mike Zimmer wanted to do last week. He brought the linebackers, because right now, we know there's no pressure from their defensive line. So look for them to be a little bit more aggressive on defense. They're going to get DeLon Bland back, who I think is a really good corner.
He is.
And I think this guy right here, number 4, Dak Prescott, is the difference in the game.
How good is DeLon Bland in tackling? Because that's what he gonna do. He's gonna put his big boy pass on. They ain't gonna throw the ball. They don't have to.
Lordy.
You talk about being like, full circle. I bet you they start with the skipper package. They gonna go right in with the skipper package to make a point. Here I go. Right here.
He's the player who reported as eligible last year, and they wound up calling it off, and they wound up losing that game at the very end, and they were frustrated. New Year's Eve or right around that time, sometime last year. So we all, well, except for Tannenbaum, we all agree that the Lions have the overwhelming edge in this matchup. So tell me how they win this game. Let's make it fun.
Let's make it fun.
We're sitting here Monday morning in a state of absolute shock that the Cowboys have won. How will it?
I'm going to say something that might be sacrilegious. They're actually a better run defending team without Micah Parsons.
Interesting.
There we go.
They're a team that inverted the line of scrimmage last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're a team that Eric Kendricks played well going downhill because he was kept clean. And also you looked at, and I think Coach Mike T mentioned this, they brought linebackers, but they run blitzes on early first and second downs. That's the sort of team they have to be defensively. And Dak Prescott, like I said last week, and he threw the 2 interceptions, so we didn't get that MVP level play. That's how Dak Prescott has to play. Dak Prescott has to make sure that Jalen Tolbert becomes a part of this game. That Turbin becomes a
right here. What's up, good people and Eagles and 49er fans? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's had a great day, and let me say, everybody who wished me a happy birthday yesterday and today, thank you so much. I appreciate it. I appreciate the super chats and everything last night. All of the Dallas Cowboy paraphernalia, happy birthdays and everything else on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on the channel. Thank you, and Messenger, of course. And as we get started here, we got to recognize the lovely ladies in the place and piss off some of the lonely guys that are at home. Started with Holly Pierce, who was the first one here. What's up, Holly? And over on the other channel, Lady Libra. Shout out to Lady Libra. First one over there. Oh, I'm sorry, Ginger. Ginger, I'm sorry. Roland Reviews in the house. What's up, Miss Gibson's in the house. Regina Green. What's up, Regina? And of course, Aisha Robinson taking it one day at a time. You know what? Your Giants are coming back around and a lot better than I thought they were going to be. Shout out to Aisha Robinson. Did I miss any of the lovely ladies with the style? Oh, Holly Pierce. If I missed anybody, and look, Holly said, watch where you step from all of the poo emojis flying around. I love that. Shout out to you guys. So we've got a tall task. You know, nobody is picking the Dallas Cowboys at all. They say we suck. We got no chance, that the Lions are the big bad wolf, that they're going to come in, they're going to punish us, they're going to finish him, and they're going to do damage to us, and that we are literally going to lose the next week, even though we're on a bye week. That it's going to be that bad. It's going to be that bad. But, you know, he said something in there that I said going into last week. Okay? What ESPN to ESPN emoji is poop. Oh, man. Well, we're going to get to ESPN with Cam Newton now, who's joining First Take. You know what? But I'll get to that in a second. Bobby Ice, what's going on? GHOSTR Ryder, what's going on? Alan Williams, Curtis in the house. Chris May, no, finish him for you. Okay. Mike Aldana, Lions gonna poop all over the Cowboys. And Gina Dallas Diva in the house. Okay. I've been hitting the head a lot, so maybe I'm wrong on this, but I could have sworn that I said something very interesting that we just heard Ryan Clark reiterate. He said that the Dallas Cowboys are a better run-stopping team without Micah Parsons. Now, I don't want to say that I said that last week, but I said that going into last week. I said the Dallas Cowboys defense, sometimes you don't change things until you're forced to change. And right now the Cowboys are forced to change things. And sometimes when you do something differently, you find out the light bulb comes on and it's like, oh my God, why didn't we do that all the time? The one, the only, Ron the Don Smith. What's going on? How are you doing? And that's where I said, maybe, just maybe, because Micah Parsons is an incredible pass rusher. If we can have a 14-point lead every game, Micah Parsons will be an MVP. But what you notice is Micah Parsons, through the first 4 games that he played, had 1 sack. And what you found was Baltimore, New Orleans, those are teams that really run the ball, and they run the ball downhill. And that's where Micah Parsons isn't as effective. Getting bigger guys that were out there, and Marshawn Nealon, I hate seeing him get hurt because he had 2 early tackles in that game. But getting the Tyrone Wheats, getting the Goldstons, you have bigger bodies that were in there, and you got something that we had not gotten in forever, okay? I want you to understand this. This season, if it's going to be a success, is going to be because Linval Joseph and Mozzie are playing great. Last week, I missed Lola. I'm burning for you. What's up, Lola? Now I forgot where. I see Lola, think of the hot sauce and burning and everything else, and then I just forget about everything else. But last week we got Mozzie is playing better than Jordan Davis. Got Dan Saleo to admit that. Now, Philly 500 won't admit that, but he'll say that Jordan Davis isn't playing good, which is kind of amazing because I actually couldn't believe what I heard, the Eagle fans admitting that Howie sucks at drafting and that he needs to be held accountable. I think Philly 500 is literally saying,
just got another weapon to prove it, and CeeDee Lamb is a weapon in every shape of the word.
I fire Howie. Fucking fire him. Motherfucker! Stupid motherfucker! What an idiot! What an idiot! Dallas has Amari Cooper and Gallup, but we don't need a receiver. Are you kidding me? I don't want Justin Jefferson. He's ass. He's stupid. I fire his ass. I fire his ass. I mean, Howie's got to be stupid. What are you doing? You just let Dallas take him.
Ultra, you know what, Ultra, I know how you run, bro. I know any take that I have is going to be a dumb statement. Here's what I'm saying is the Cowboys are better stopping the run without Micah. Right or wrong? I didn't say they were a better defense without Micah Parsons. Pass rushing, Micah is incredible. And what I'm saying is this, and for somebody said that Mozzie didn't have a great game. In comparison to what we used to get from Mozzie Smith, bro, here's the thing that's kind of interesting about Mozzie. And I told you guys about Mozzie from training camp. And again, I'm just Joe the fan here. So you don't have to take any credit. Whatever I say, it doesn't matter. I'm just Joe the fan here. But here's what I can tell you right now is Mozzie has started 5 games in his career. Started 5 games in his career, okay? And in the last 5 games, which he started each week, against Cleveland, no statistics. Against New Orleans, no statistics. Against Baltimore, he got 3 solo tackles in that game. That was the first game. He said, okay, he did something even though we got our ass handed to us. Against the Giants, he ended up having 2 solos, 1 assist, and a tackle for loss. Then this past week, He had 3 solos, assist, and a pressure. By all means, I'm not saying that he's Dexter Lawrence, but what you can say is he is doing a hell of a lot better than what he did before. And his numbers are better right now than Jordan Davis. Okay? Oh, Lordy. Jacob Sports. Oh, man. Okay. But you got Jordan. You know what, Jacob Sports? Right now, I'm taking Mozzie over Jordan Davis. Okay? I'm taking Mozzie over Jordan Davis. If Mozzie continues on this trajectory, you at least see Mozzie is getting better. And with Linval Joseph, who you guys had a couple years ago, that interior defensive front is better than it's been in quite a while. We have not had anybody big. I mean, when you think of the Quentin Bohannons, although I still wish we had kept John Ridgeway. John Ridgeway was my guy. Mark, please stop. Philly D. No, Philly D. I'm serious. You watch. The end of the year, you're going to see better numbers from Mozzie than you will Jordan Davis. Bank it. In fact, I would say check with Bet USA and see if you can put a bet on it. Put your money on that one. I'm telling you, Mozzie is getting better. And that's part of the reason why that defense was better. When they were talking about the linebackers and Eric Kendricks, who is not going to be playing this week, we've got another injury. I don't understand what the hell's going on. Look, Jacob Sports said I might even take Mozzie. That's you guys are slumming now, bro. Jacob Sports is slumming. What I'm saying is, when you look back, tell me the last time we had anybody in the interior defensive line of the Dallas Cowboys that was worth anything. I still say John Ridgeway, had they given him a chance, would have been a good one. Bet US has Eagles winning the division. Yeah, you know what? That's actually what's funny to me, Philly D, is that people still believe in the Eagles right now. Twiz Digga, no, I didn't say he's Warren Sapp 2.0. Don't try and put things in my mouth. Pause. Don't try and put words in my mouth. I didn't say that. I said we're actually getting better play. Now, I would love to say he's like Vita Vea, but he ain't like Vita Vea yet. Not anywhere close. But he is playing better and getting better every week. And if he continues to get better every week, then, by the end of the year, we'll be actually doing something. Interesting take from Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones, when asked about Zeke Elliott, I know everybody knows that Zeke Elliott is like, what the F? What's going on here? Why am I not out on the damn field? Zeke Elliott has got like 100 yards rushing so far this season. And it's not because he's not running very well. He's just not getting any opportunities. And so he went to the coaching staff and basically asked what's going on. And we've had now, of course, Philly old head, Mark's overhyping a bum again. Well, considering he's playing better than Jordan Davis, and I guess Philly 500 is definitely hyping bums as well. I do recall Philly 500 hyping up Devin White, saying that was the biggest free agent signing of the offseason across all the NFL at that point. Devin White, who never played a snap, grabbed $4 million and got cut in the bye week. So I don't want to hear it from you. Shout out to, Ultra. Yeah, daily reminder, Jalen Tolbert has the same stats as Amon St. Brown, which is surprising to a lot of people. And we've got, of course, a little bit of a beef, of course, with Amon St. Brown and Jordan Lewis. Mark, Cowboys Nation, Lion Killers this week. So they're not giving us a chance. We are battered and bruised. We don't have Micah. We don't have D-Law. We don't have Eric Kendricks right now. We don't have Sam Williams. And we don't have Marshawn Nealon. So that is 5 guys off our defense. 5. That's a lot. But it looks like we will get Ceylon Carson back and the pick magnet, Deron Bland. And that should help the other end. We'll take him. Ginger Rogers is like, we'll take him. Ginger, I thought oh, my God. if Geno hadn't thrown that pick, oh my God, man. I'm going to say 49ers don't scare me as much as they used to. The 49ers don't scare me as much as they used to. They honestly, they got the game. They beat you guys, but they got some help from Geno and the turnovers. Philly won't even be 500 at the end of the year. Not having Kendrick is the worst not have. If we get Bland back, he's getting a pick. And that's one of the things that's actually been missing is getting a lot of the takeaways that we've been getting. And, it's funny because a lot of people will say he's not good, that he's not a good cover corner. If you're getting the picks, that's what I need. They used to say that about Diggs, but it seems like Diggs, although he's had the ankle issue and a little bit of an illness this week, he seems to be getting in a groove where he's being able to shut people down. And having him, surprisingly, Jordan Lewis, who 2 years ago was coming off injury, and a lot of people were like, why are we still keeping Jordan Lewis? He needs to go. But Jordan Lewis has become an incredible slot corner. And so now you add Deron Bland and Carson in the mix there too. Our secondary is going to be really, really good. Play man and blitz right up the middle. Golf will F up with the pressure. Marcus Blackman, how are you doing? Rico Dowdle is confident now. Yeah, so back to Zeke and Jerry Jones. His response to all this was, we're saving Zeke. And there is, and back in my mind, I start thinking about where we've been in the playoffs. I know everybody out there always kills Dak Prescott. Dak sucks. He's a turnover machine. He doesn't do anything in the playoffs. But when I look at our team, generally speaking, in the playoffs, nobody does a whole lot. And our running game has truly suffered. And so Jerry Jones reiterated that we're saving Zeke, okay? And, I'm wondering if the plan here with Dalvin Cook, too, is we're going to get him in shape and we're going to save him, too. And, we'll run Rico for a while, then we'll run Zeke for a while, then we'll, run Cook for a while, and maybe try and keep some fresh legs for the playoffs. Prescott can't, John, I think you mean can't afford to throw any interceptions this weekend. Yeah, I think that this is going to be a shootout, and I think the Cowboys literally are going to have to score on every drive. Twiz, Dak and Cousins being clutch in the same time, it's a miracle. I was trying to hang with Geno, but I fear we're probably going to go look to the draft. Yeah, Geno's been a good story, but I don't know. Sorry, Ginger. You may be starting all over. Am I lying to tell me Bland didn't get cooked if you say you ain't telling the truth? I never said that he doesn't get cooked sometimes, but he's also, you know what? If you get those takeaways, that's wait, hold on. Eagle fan, have you looked at your defense lately? Have you looked at your secondary? You know what? I don't know if Jacob Sports is still here, but I was going to save this for later. But let's get into this shit now, because I got a beef here with Philly 500, and he didn't show up and do the walk of shame for me like he's supposed to. But let's check this, because I think he's about ready to say fire Howie.
He asked if is it Kellen's new offense and the lack of the personnel and the star personnel? He goes, it's both. He goes, your comfort zone when you have Devontae and when you have AJ in there, and there's a lot of new nuances to the offense. So you're telling me that guy can't elevate lesser players? Isn't that the role of the quarterback to elevate those guys as well? And that he's just in a comfort zone only when Devontae and AJ are out there?
My personal opinion on this is there are two quarterbacks in this league that can elevate guys that aren't that good. Mahomes and Josh Allen. Everybody else needs weapons around them to succeed, as far as I'm concerned. I don't think there's any other quarterback but those two guys that I can look at and go, wow, they have less weapons than they do more.
So you think he was just being honest?
So let me stop there for a second. Are you telling me that the Cowboys have a lot of weapons? I'm not. I know I'm a Dak. I know I'm a Dak Prescott fan and things like that. But do you honestly look at our team and say Dak Prescott's got a lot of weapons out there? He's got CeeDee Lamb, who sometimes can be a head case and checks out. Do we honestly look at Jalen Tolbert and say he's one of the top, 15 wide receivers in football? Do we look at that with, Deron Bland? Do we look at Rico and say he's one of the top running backs in football? We literally look and say, if Dak isn't basically almost perfect, chances for us winning are not very good. We have one weapon. Okay, so when Philly says, well, there's only two quarterbacks out there that are elevating the players, have we had players that have left the Cowboys and gone to other teams, and all of a sudden they become monsters offensively? If they have, please let me know. But, Josh Allen last week, his wide receivers had under 100 yards. Under 100 yards. So I'm just saying, I don't think that we necessarily have. Well, I'm going to say that Ultra, the best tight end in football, Pat Mahomes has, and he's got a much better running attack than we do. Okay? Now, like I said, I'm not going to dispute that we got CeeDee Lamb, but and Jalen Tolbert, is Jalen Tolbert that good on another team? I mean, this is his third year as a third-round draft pick. Are we saying Jalen Tolbert is good because Jalen Tolbert is good, or is the quarterback helping him because they work together? Because I know with CeeDee Lamb not there in training camp, Jalen Tolbert was working a lot with Dak Prescott, and that's where they developed a repertoire. And I dare say that Jalen Tolbert is better because of that, working directly with Dak Prescott. That is elevating the player. How do we not look at it and say that he elevated Cedric Wilson? Okay? Cedric Wilson, let me pull up his stats. Let's look at his stats. Okay, so Cedric Wilson. Now, follow me here for Ultra. I know you're like the Jekyll and Hyde, buddy. I love being with you in the draft, having a few drinks and stuff on it. But if you're talking about elevating a player, okay, listen to this. Cedric Wilson. Cowboys, 2019, his first year, he got 5 catches, 46 yards. 2020, 17 catches, 189 yards. Nothing to write home about, right? In 2021, out of necessity, we ended up having him get 602 yards receiving, 45 catches, 13.5 yards per reception. He gets paid $7 million to go to the Miami Dolphins, in which case he goes 12 catches for 136 for 11.3. The second year, he got 22 for 296, 13.5, which tied what he did with the Cowboys as far as yards per completion with all of those other players. So are you saying that him and Dak Prescott didn't elevate him? Clearly, with Dak Prescott, double the performance of him with being with Tua. And I can say the same thing about Randall Cobb. Do we look at, I'm going to ask you, okay, Ultra, do you look at Dalton Schultz and say he's like Kelsey? Do you look at and say Michael Gallup, mind you, and here's the misconception. Michael Gallup had his second year, a great year, had over 1,000 yards. The next year dropped to 800. The next year dropped to 400. The next year dropped to 400. And he leaves the Cowboys and he's retired. I can't look and say Michael Gallup was great except for 1 year. And Tony Pollard split time with Zeke except for his last year. And I can't look at what Tony Pollard put up last year and say that that was an elite running back. So if Dak had the weapons Jalen had, we would have already had a ring. I will look at it that way and say I agree. You can look at it and say the best year that he had was Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb's rookie year, and Michael Gallup, who was in and out of the lineup. And Zeke was a little bit healthier, and Tony Pollard was not quite that guy. That was probably the best talent-wise that he had. But our defense wasn't that great, though, either. But that's okay. Again, and I'm not disputing Ultra. We all know that Pat Mahomes is the gold standard, okay? Even though he's got 6 interceptions and 6 TDs right now. We know Pat Mahomes is on a different level. We're talking about everybody else that's in the mix here. When Philly 500 says Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes are the only 2 guys that are elevating somebody, I got to say, Cedric Wilson certainly was elevated by being with Dak Prescott. Randall Cobb certainly was being elevated by being with Dak Prescott. And if you take CeeDee Lamb, do you believe CeeDee Lamb, if he goes to the Giants or goes to the Eagles, that he's having a season like that? Do you think that that's going to be the case? He's going to have 1,700 yards? I think not. But go on, Philly. Go on.
Okay, yeah, that's a good way to. Okay, that's a good way to look at it. I mean, you're right.
What I'm also saying is that that's not. I don't think that's like only a Jalen Hurts thing. I think literally 30 other starting quarterbacks in the National League can't do it either. You have to have weapons. Only 2 guys right now playing, I think, can play with lesser talent.
Couple last ones here for you. How much responsibility do you put on Howie for constructing this football team? I want to show you something here.
Ooh.
Miss Huff, Miss Gardner Johnson,
Ooh.
Miss Avonte Maddox, Miss Nolan Smith, Miss Nakobe Dean. I mean, the 2 tackles aren't playing interior-wise.
Dallas Cowboy for life. You're right. He has Andy Reid too.
Has been old. I mean, at the end of the day, all of these guys, especially on the defensive side, he's whiffed on almost everything here. And you look at the coordinators a little bit limp. I mean, look at Vic's system. I mean, you go like this. I hate Vic's system. Well, you hired him. You knew what he was. He was 2-eye safety, and he played guys 10 yards off the ball. I mean, give me your sense of Howie's accountability in this.
Oh, I think Howie's definitely accountable. I think it's to the point now where if you get continued performance like you're getting from Jordan Davis, Nolan Smith, Bryce Huff, if this plays out the way this year's gone so far,
you're in the toilet.
You have to strip talent evaluation from him, or at least put somebody there that can be a true evaluator.
Wow.
Because those are a lot of draft picks to miss on. Those are a lot of free agents signings to miss on. Listen, nobody was going to miss on Devontae Smith. Nobody was going to miss on Jalen Carter. I mean, to me, those ones that he's hit early were no-brainers, So I think you need a real talent evaluator. And I'm not saying get rid of Howie. I'm not saying he can't control the draft. All I'm saying is when he looks at his draft board and he goes, all right, this is our draft board, it's built by somebody other than him. That's what I'm saying.
Brandon Graham is going to play in his 200th game as a Philadelphia Eagle. He is the first guy in the history of the franchise.
Okay. So we literally have Philly 500 calling for.
Just got another weapon to throw this game. CeeDee Lamb is a weapon in every shape of the word.
I fire Howie. Fucking fire him. Motherfucker! Stupid motherfucker! What an idiot! What an idiot! Dallas has Amari Cooper and Gallup, but we don't need a receiver. Are you kidding me? I don't want Justin Jefferson. He's ass. He's stupid. I fire his ass. I fire his ass. I mean, Howie's got to be stupid. What are you doing? You just let Dallas take him.
Well, Rod, are we trying to pretend Dallas and the Eagles have the same roster talent? If so, let's just switch everyone except let's switch everyone except the quarterbacks and see. Jalen should be able to hand it to Barkley every play and win 9-10. But that's true. The Eagles have more talent, but they just don't seem to know what to do with it. The funniest thing to me is how a lot of people are saying, they need to go ahead and fire Nick Sirianni and just let Kellen Moore be the head coach. And I'm just like, please do that one. Oh my God. Where's Rhonda? Jeff, I don't know where Rhonda is. She could be busy. You know how Rhonda is. Who is Philly 500's daddy? Mark, do you know? I'm his daddy. So this weekend is going to be, they drafted Rager over Jefferson. Yeah, they did. And they also ended up drafting Whiteside over DK Metcalf. Literally, the next pick after both of those picks ended up being, Jefferson and DK Metcalf. So it's kind of crazy when you think about how inept actually Howie Roseman. And this kind of brings up the question at the moment. God, this is going to sound crazy. In fact, I'm going to do this as a poll because this will be a good poll. This would be better to do as a poll. Okay. All right. I'm going to do this poll because this is going to be interesting because the Eagles are on the precipice of literally imploding. The Cleveland Browns are completely atrocious. Deshaun is just awful. It's so funny because in 2020, they said he's a top 5 quarterback because he had 30 TD passes and he had like 4,500 yards and stuff. They said he's a top 5. And I kept saying, but they were 4-12. Isn't that garbage time? No, Deshaun Watson is great and all that. And he got $230 million fully guaranteed. In the 3 years that he's been the quarterback of the Browns, he's done nothing. And I mean nothing. And so if you go in with a team that they are literally talking about basically fire sealing the team, if the Eagles lose that game, you have to believe Nick Sirianni's getting fired on Monday. It's literally that bad in Philadelphia. I think we actually, getting the win against Pittsburgh kind of has this weekend as house money. Deshaun Watson might go off against that defense. Man, oh my God, ratio. That's what I'm like. I don't know. I want to see Cowboys win, but I also want to see the Eagles lose. If I could get both of those things, then that would be the best birthday present ever. Linda, your takes are funny. Laugh it out. Eagles play without 2 wideouts, right guard, right tackle, and they lose with 2 disgruntled players. Oh, but wait a minute though, Linda. You act like we had full strength. We played on the road against Pittsburgh without Micah Parsons, without D-Law. One of the replacements for him that was a rookie, Marshawn Nealon, gets injured, within the first 2 series. He's gone. Deron Bland is not playing, who's been our pick magnet. And Ceylon Carson, who was a rookie, 5th rounder, who we said, okay, this guy can start for Deron Bland. He's gone. And then you go in the game and you got your number 2 wide receiver is gone and Brandon Cooks. Everybody else that you have at wide receiver combined have less than 600 yards going into that game. And mind you, our starting rookie left tackle gets hurt in the game and can't play. So now we take our guard and we put him at tackle, and we bring in a guy, Josh Ball, that's played in like 3 games. And so are you trying to say your injuries, Linda, your injuries are somehow worse than what we had to deal with on the road against the Steelers? And mind you, we didn't get any better. I mean, we do get Carson back. We do get Deron Bland back, but we just lost Eric Kendrick. He's not playing this week. I mean, we've been hit pretty hard too, girl. And then we, of course, get hit by Jerry Jones, who, of course, signs his quarterback opening day and signs his number 1 wide receiver 2 weeks before the season starts. Eagles suck at the draft and free agency. Well, they used to be good at free agency, but lately it's kind of like that year they went to the Super Bowl, they struck gold on everything except for Robert Quinn. Every other free agent they brought in played valuable time and had a role. Right now, Saquon Barkley is the only good thing that you got. And the problem with Saquon is Saquon has a tendency to get worn down by the end of the season. And the way they are using him right now, where he is the workhorse, I guarantee you, by the time the season ends, he is not going to be, I'm sorry, not Josh Ball, TJ Bass. Thank you, Ray. I do make slip-ups. I'm back. Damn, we got a lot of people out with, we got a lot of people out. We are beat the hell up. Now, Tyler Guyton has been full practice this week. Tyler Guyton. Probably you're going to have Marcus Lafufu, and I mispronounced that, will probably be the middle linebacker. And then Damone Clark will probably be the weak side linebacker. Cowboys used to be good in the playoffs, but nobody recognizes them deep in the playoffs. You know, the Eagles were always bad in the playoffs, and they ended up getting lucky twice. But other than that, they lose to Tampa Bay in the first round on a regular. And Twiz, hey Twiz, come here. I can tell you, Twiz, come here. Twiz, come here. Twiz, seriously, Twiz, come closer, buddy. I can tell you something.
Shut the fuck up. Shut all the way the fuck up until you reach the top of Shut Fuck Mountain, where there are no more fuck ups to shut.
Curtis, that would be interesting, but no, that'll never happen. They would not move Carolina into the NFC East. I'm sure Washington Giants and Eagles would love that. And putting the Cowboys in the South. They put the Cowboys in the South, I'd say you got a better shot. But be that as it may, no. It's too much history between the Cowboys, the Eagles, and the Giants that is the money division, so that's not going to change. Guyton upside is too high. They will bum it all down before benching him. Well, here's what I would say. He's coming off of the groin knee injury. And you got Adrian Hutchinson coming from the outside. I would say, you know what, Guyton, you're back up this week, okay? And put Tyler Smith out there. Half of the Lions sacks come from that one guy. You have got to neutralize him. And that's where I'm like, Tyler Smith, bro, we need you out there for one more week. Allen Williams, what'd you miss? Eagle fans coming in here thinking that they are hot shit. Dalvin Cook playing. Zeke can't even get on the field. He's on the team. No, they're not bringing Cooks up. Not yet. Bobby, that's my quarterback. TJ Bass has been playing good. Too good to bench Guyton this week and keep Smith at left tackle. That's what I say. And honestly, call me crazy. I think, I honestly think that maybe you might want to consider putting him back at right tackle. Start working him back at right tackle. Because here's the thing I noticed about Tyler Guyton. Whenever you get the defensive end crossing his face and going hard inside, pause, that's when he has problems. That's when he can't seem to get his feet caught up fast enough to get in front of him. And that's where he gets handsy and gets the holding calls or gives up the sacks. And I think that's a product of him playing the right and then now shifting to the left. First thing you got to understand about the NFL is, you are on, you're a big fish in a little pond. You're not playing against NFL caliber players every week. He's facing the cream of the crop, the top 1,000th of 1% of edge rushers in football on the left side. And going from the right, see, here's the thing. Going to the right, your first step is with your right foot. Your eye, this peripheral vision is always used to looking, boom, right there, okay? You're used to making the punch with your right hand, okay? You are right-handed as a tackle. Now you're going to the left. You've been getting all this work here on your right. This arm, you got that punch. You got that first step. It's quick. Now you're going to the left, and you're learning all of this over. Now you're looking, everything's on the outside of this eye. And now you got to make that punch with the left hand. And you're used to guys crashing hard coming from the right. Now they're coming from the left. And he's not getting his hands in that right position. And it might behoove the Cowboys to say, we want you to take a step back and get used to playing on the right now, get used to the speed, and then maybe move him back to the left next year. Because I look at it right now, here's what I look at. The way TJ Bass is playing, right now, that is probably your best lineup right now. The left tackle is so key. When you saw how Rico was able to run better in the second half, we were able to run the football, how Dak was getting more time to throw, that was clearly because Tyler Guyton was neutralizing the defensive end. And TJ Bass and Cooper Beebe were working well together, on the combo blocks where they were able to run. Now the biggest weakness you have is actually Terrence Steele on the right side. So maybe, Zach Martin is also missed practice, had his veteran day off. He's not as dominant as he was, say, 2 years ago. And it might be because you're now beginning, Curtis, unfortunately, you're beginning to see Zach Martin get beat sometimes. And you're beginning to see a few penalties here and there. I would put Richards at right tackle and sit Steele. Zach Martin has one more year after this one. Well, technically his contract is done after this year, although it would behoove the Cowboys if they were to keep him for one more year, because next year is dead money central. You got dead money for Brandon Cooks. You got dead money for D-Law. You got dead money for Zach Martin. That's all there. If they're on the roster, you basically could say they're going to be on the roster and kind of prorate that money down the road so you don't have it. I mean, Zach Martin is in year 10. Bring in Guyton for Steele. Steele stinks. Guyton played right tackle. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think we're in agreement on that one, Chris May. Terrence Steele has been getting beat up too. That's another one of those cases where the Cowboys were, soon to sign a guy who was still recovering from ACL, and I'm not sure that was a wise move. Ward family, how are you doing, buddy? Jerry and Stephen Wood are worried about Tyler wanting left tackle money. Yeah, Perry Locke, you are 100% right on that. Dead money combined is $20 million for all three. Yeah, but it's still $20 million in dead money. This year we've got $21 million in dead money, and you got to add on to that ultra. We got $8 million coming next year for Michael Gallup. That's another pooch screw right there. Looking for a bargain. That's the Jones is always looking for a bargain. Now, since, we can dream. We can dream right now because the Raiders seem to want to have Devontae Adams traded in the next 48 hours. I'll tell Tracy you said hi, Jeff. And it seems like they were looking for a second-round pick. But nobody's offering a second-round pick for Devontae Adams. Right now, they're hoping they can get a third, but it may only be a fourth-round pick, and they may have to eat some of the contract because basically everybody who wants him knows you're desperate for him to get rid of him. So you could be looking at a case where they eat $10 million of his contract this year, possibly, and it might be a fourth-round draft pick. I don't know how you don't entertain that idea. I honestly don't know how you don't entertain that. I'm sitting here in my mind, and correct me if I'm wrong, the Eagles are a mess right now. They've got a cake schedule. They probably will make the playoffs because they do have a cake schedule. I think they have the fourth easiest schedule remaining. Okay? But at this moment, they are about as dysfunctional as can be. Now, everything can change. We saw the New Orleans Saints that looked like world beaters the first 2 weeks, and we looked like the Baltimore Ravens the first 2 weeks looked like roadkill. No disrespect, Ginger, but the Seattle Seahawks started out 3-0 and looked like a good team, and now they look like ass, and not the good ass either. We're talking about one of those long asses, long flat asses. That maybe a little droop at the end, and you look at it and you're like, ugh, what happened to that? We're talking like a meme ass. Okay, that's what Seattle's kind of looking like right now. Sorry, Ginger, I don't mean any disrespect, but they ain't looking too good. And this is where, people will say the Cowboys, they suck, they're not going to be good. How do you know? How do you know? I'm not ready to say that Minnesota is a great team. I'm sorry, I'm not. I saw Sam Darnold of old the second half of their game this past week. And for all we know, the Giants may be better than the Eagles. Pause. Tolbert is going to be a stud soon. He was a stud already. Now, I have to look, shout out to Miss Tracy. Oh, let me pull down the Bet US. I don't know if you guys can see my shirt. Okay? Can you see my shirt? She literally quoted Tyler Smith. Oh, there we go. Bro, it was miraculous. I mean, JT literally sprained his effing nuts. The play before comes back and makes the game winner. Unbelievable. Tyler Smith. Tell me. We give him that. We're going to give some of these away on Sunday. I like Tolbert. And the thing with Tolbert is the brother screwed Dan Campbell, and he wants his revenge. You know what? I always hear that. We want revenge. We want revenge. We'll see if they get it. But, Twiz, here's the thing that's interesting with my quarterback. I don't know if you guys knew that Dak Prescott did something that nobody has ever done before and probably will never, ever do again. Will never, ever do again. Dak Prescott threw a touchdown pass on 2 different days on the same game. It'll never happen again. It will never happen again because he threw a touchdown before midnight and threw one after midnight. 2 different days, a touchdown pass in each one of them. So there's that. How many fourth downs does it take to beat the Cowboys? Yeah, and that's the thing. Sometimes you just have a team's number. Dak Prescott has beat the Lions 5 times in a row. 5 times. And the Cowboys, I believe, are 19-11 all-time against the Lions. So, yeah, the Lions have been looking for revenge of the playoffs. I think, what year was that? 2016? No. maybe 2014. I mean, what year was that? We played the Lions in the playoffs. We beat them. It must have been 2014. It was 2014. You would have thought that the Lions were trying to get payback because we beat them on a controversial call in the playoff game that gave us a first down and beat them. But yet they have not. So I'm not into the whole, it's revenge. It's a revenge game. They're coming in to get some revenge. Man, get out of here with that shit. Tolbert never gets a chance, and with this, and the same with Tolbert, with Turpin. Well, I think right now the genie's out of the bottle with Jalen Tolbert. When CeeDee Lamb wasn't in training camp, you saw that Tolbert was kind of the number one guy. Brandon Cooks was injured most of training camp, and that's where I kind of said, I kind of mentioned when I was at training camp, they had said that he was going back to Dallas a week early. They never really revealed why, but he left training camp early, and he missed a lot of time in camp. And so was Jalen Tolbert working with Dak a lot, and he looked good in training camp. And so maybe this is exactly what we need. He needed his opportunity to be the number 2 receiver. Turpin is a burner, and this is where if the Cowboys continue to hit multiple receivers and don't rely on CeeDee Lamb for 90% of the offense, I think they've got actually a better shot at winning. Right, Thomas, thank you. It was 2014 that we beat the Lions. I can't remember what the call was, but there was some controversial flag. Might have been pass interference. I can't remember what it was, but there was a penalty late in that game, and we scored and won, and that the Lion fans were pissed off about it. Cowboys found another superstar on defense and Overshown. The final piece to have the Ultra. I think here's my thoughts is, if I'm right about Mozzie and Linval Joseph, and they can actually start tying up the middle. Overshown is an absolute positive beast. Diggs is getting back into being a shutdown corner. If Bland can get anywhere near being the pick magnet, he can be your kind of special guy right there and can get a few interceptions. That's going to change the dynamics of this team. And if you get to the point where you can get pressure from your edge and your defensive line without Micah Parsons, then you can really use Micah Parsons as a gadget guy to really F up people going down the road. Yeah, Martes, I can't pronounce his last name, is a definite beast. So we do have some players that are getting opportunities to play. You can look at our guys and say that Martese definitely is better than Devin White for the Eagles. Pause. Dirty Sanchez in the house. What's up? Dan Orlowski was in that game. Oh, my God. Dan, you're lousy. He is a joke. But I don't know if you guys saw that ESPN is hiring Cam Newton to be on First Take. At least they got a quarterback that's actually won some games as opposed to Dan Orlowski, who is supposedly the expert. He seems like the village idiot to me. So 85% of the people say they would rather see the Cowboys win than the Eagles lose. I want to see them. I want to see the Cowboys win so bad because if we went 4-2, that would be incredible. But my guilty pleasure would be seeing the Eagles lose again and being able to go on the Dan Saleo show and talk some more shit. Oh my God. They're already saying you got no chance to win anymore. You're going to lose the next 4. Listen.
Give me the Philly 500 Mount Rushmore of.
No. Here we go.
It'd be one of those.
What about Kelsey?
That would be.
Forget your Mount Rushmore, but here we go. Hold on.
Hurts or Sirianni?
away from the head coach, and then the quarterback.
This is literally
money to.
He shows up the wrong day.
I think that they would get rid of the coach before they would get rid of the quarterback. I hope.
You're right, Joe.
They would.
If they lose again, they probably will cut my segment.
And we need to start loading up on first-round draft picks in a few years because I don't see how you could protect Nick over Jalen first.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you something, man. We had your boy on Wednesday, Mark Holmes. Man, he's drunk. He's drunk with the fact that the Eagles are just stumbling around. He's 3-2 right now. And I told him he's going on a 4-game losing streak. I said, dude, you're going on a 4-game losing streak. That Cowboy team is not going to go anywhere. He told me he thinks that team's an 11-win team.
That team can only beat teams that are not that great on offense.
Well, that's the Eagles
if
twice.
You have a decent offense, they can't keep up. I thought the Steeler game, I thought Fields stunk, to be honest, throwing the ball. And then I think Najee Harris looked really bad. And I don't think Pittsburgh ran the ball enough. But I don't think they can beat offenses that
Could it be that the Cowboys forced them not to be good?
Absolutely.
So I think Mark will be coming back to earth real soon.
They're only drinking rum and shit. Like this guy's a real aristocrat. Like he's like the stupidest Cowboy fan I've ever seen.
Oh, you don't know.
Holy that's cow, dude.
Oh,
yeah.
It's like Dak Prescott's his adopted son or something. The guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what about the little tiff between CD and Dak? I mean, hey, are you concerned about Washington now, though?
Yeah. Yeah, people tell me not to be, but I think they're the second best team, at least in this division. Maybe the first best team right now. I mean, right now they're the best team.
Right now they're playing better than Philly.
I think Jaden Daniels is a problem long term. More than just this year, I think that kid's the real deal. So I think that they're going to be good. If the Eagles get it going, I still think they're better. But I think Washington's better than Dallas right now, and they're playing better than anybody, like you said. So I do think they're going to lose 2 to Baltimore this week.
They haven't beat anybody that's won more than one game.
A little bit. But that Mark Holmes dude. His glucose levels right now are extreme danger. All the eating he's doing in his stream, I don't know if he's high on carbs.
Hey, Philly, jelly donuts will do that to you.
Jelly donuts.
Yeah. Hey, watch that guy's stream. Every quarter there, he's got a whole new meal. On camera, he's just eating away. It's disgusting. He's disgusting.
Yeah,
bro, I do a 16-hour live stream.
It's no good, man. Hey, man, I'll tell you what. This is going to be an interesting ball game on Sunday, man. They better put the points on and win this ball game convincingly.
I agree.
They better. Oh, Eagles, you're 1 o'clock. You better not lose. You better not lose on that one. Oh, it will get so ugly. The only good quarterback the Commanders played put up 37 versus the Commanders. Hey, and the Giants, remember, they kicked 7 field goals against the Giants. And, 21-18? Was that the final score? Something like that? So, I'm still not sold on Washington just yet. Anyway, glizzies all day. Oh, we'll have the glizzies. And we're going to be doing my spaghetti, not mom's spaghetti, my spaghetti for the game on Sunday. Look who's talking. So, appreciate everybody being here. We'll be giving away some of these shirts on Sunday, the Tyler Smith quote for Jalen Tolbert. As always, I appreciate each and every one. Says the dude who has to hold his kitty. Ooh. It would be ugly. Fire Sirianni. I think Eagle fans are about ready for that. Philly D, are you looking at saying, let's lose so we can get rid of Nick? The Browns' offense stinks, but their defense is real. Yeah, that might end up being like a 9-6 game. It literally might be that bad. You have a good night, everybody. Jalen Tolbert is a weapon now. That's right. All right, good people. I appreciate everybody, and I was going to shit on you with Philly 500, but we're going to turn out the lights. This party's over.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. same old thing.